are you?
I am fine, thank you very much. Arif has been coordinating these things, and he is even today also he is taking care of camera and everything. So the way we discuss, why we have planned to have an informal chat with the young adults like you. Basically, what in partnership with TV Metro Mail. So you know that this will be on air through TV Metro Mail. This is a online TV channel, and we have a partnership with PACE, Progressive Action for Community Empowerment. This is a non-for-profit organization, and they have very specific focus or interest in youth. They like to know that they like to read the mind of our young people, because we often say that youth, they are our future, but often we don't hear them that much. We don't know what they are thinking, what is their perspective. Even when we make any policy or anything, we don't bother with include them the voice. That's right. So that's why we thought that we will have some informal chat, try to understand your perspective of life, how you are looking at the whole community, the country, even the global perspective. So worldview of your youth's worldview on different issues. So this is how we have come, and we thought that we need to discuss, we need to talk to you. So you are Jhilik, right? What is your full name?
Jhilik Marilyn Sharkar.
Oh, that's nice. So Jhilik is a good, nice name.
Yes.
So who named you?
My dad.
Your dad?
Yes.
So what is the meaning of Jhilik?
Jhilik means the spark.
Spark, yes.
Yeah.
That's great.
The spark, it can be the spark from the electricity
It can.
or a thunder, or like the shiny water. So that's the meaning of Jhilik, the spark.
Okay.
I'm the spark of the family.
That's great. I'm sure that your dad, your parents, they are proud of you, definitely.
I think so.
Okay. So let us begin with something. Say for example, today you are here, and it is almost the end of the day. It's around 6:30 now. So can you just give us a typical day that you spend? Any typical day, and you also introduce yourself, that what you are doing, and what keeps you busy.
Yeah, so you mean typical like my work day, or
It's work day. It's better your work day.
Yeah, so like my morning usually starts at 6:30 a.m.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
because I start working at 7:30 a.m. And then I finish work. I work with YMCA, which is a non-profit organization,
We all know
an
about YMCA.
early learning facilitator, because I'm a social worker.
Right.
So I work from like 7:30, and I come home around 6:30. After finishing the work, I work with the youth, and
Oh, that's great.
yeah, I work with the youth. So I plan their programs over there, and I run their programs, different kind of activities, like extracurricular activities. And then I come home, I do a little bit of cooking sometimes, or we will have like a family, tea together, and then dinner, and just watch like movies or TV series.
So when you say that cooking, that I just like to know whether you are born and brought up here or no.
I was born in Bangladesh.
Yes,
I came here when I was 15 years old.
Okay,
So I
okay.
started my high school over here. I finished my high school diploma, and then I finished my undergrad in humanities major. So that's how my journey of education has been. And then I did a lot of I worked with a lot of non-profit organization. I really enjoy doing that because that has been in my family's nature. Both of my parents, they have always been a people person who even in Bangladesh, they used to work with people, helping people. My mom is a nurse, and my dad was a social worker in Bangladesh. So I think that runs in my blood.
Yeah.
The doing work for people, work with people. So that has been my goal since I was. I understand that like when I have to go to work life. When I was in high school, like knowing new immigrants, refugees, newcomer students.
Even through your dad or your mother, you
Yes.
you come to know many new immigrants.
Yes, a lot of our family members, friend circle, they came as a new immigrant. Their first place to be
For profit organization, and they have very specific focus or interest in youth. They like to know that they like to read the mind of our young people, because we often say that youth, they are our future, but often we see that they are not I will not say counted, they are not we don't hear them that much. We don't know what they are thinking, what is their perspective. Even when we make any policy or anything, we don't bother with it, include them the voice. That's right. So that's why we thought that we will have some informal chat, try to understand your perspective of life, how you are looking at the whole community, the country, even the global perspective. So worldview of your youth's worldview on different issues. So this is how we have come, and we thought that we need to discuss, we need to talk to you. So you are Jhilik, right? What is your full name?
Jhilik Marilyn Sharkar.
Oh, that's nice. So Jhilik is a good name, nice name.
Yes.
So who named you?
My dad.
Your dad?
Yes.
So what is the meaning of Jhilik?
Jhilik means the spark.
Spark, yes.
Yeah.
That's great.
The spark, it can be the spark from the electricity
It can.
or a thunder, or like the shiny water. So that's the meaning of Jhilik, the spark. I'm
Okay.
the spark of the family.
That's great. I'm sure that your dad, your parents, they are proud of you, definitely.
I think so.
Okay. So sometime later on we'll check out with your dad
Yes.
whether they are really proud of. I'm sure they are proud.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure they are proud. So let us begin with something. Say for example, today you are here, and it is almost the end of the day. It's around 6:30 now. So can you just give us a typical day that you spend? Any typical day, and you also introduce yourself, that what you are doing, and what keeps you busy.
Yeah, so do you mean typical to like my work day or
It's
just-
work day. It's better in your work day.
Yeah, so like my morning usually starts at 6:30 a.m.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
because I start working at 7:30 a.m. And then I finish work. I work with YMCA, which is a non-profit organization,
Yeah. We
as
all know
an
about YMCA.
early learning facilitator because I'm a social worker.
Right.
So I work from like 7:30 and I come home around 6:30. After
Yeah.
finishing the work, I work with the youth and
Oh, that's great.
yeah, I work with the youth, so I plan their programs over there and I run their programs, different kind of activities like extracurricular activities. And then I come home, I do a little bit of cooking sometimes, or we will have like a family, tea together and then dinner, and just watch like movies or TV series.
When you say that cooking, that I just like to know whether you are born and brought up here or no. So
I was
you-
born in Bangladesh.
Yes, but-
I came here when I was 15 years old.
Okay,
So I
okay.
started my high school over here. I finished my high school diploma, and then I finished my undergrad in humanities major. So that's how my journey of education has been. And then I did a lot of I worked with a lot of non-profit organization. I really enjoy doing that because that has been in my family's nature. Both of my parents, they have always been a people person who even in Bangladesh they used to work with people, helping people. My mom is a nurse and my dad was a social worker in Bangladesh. So I think that runs in my blood.
Yeah.
The work or doing work for people, work with people. So that has been my goal since I was. I understand that like when I have to go to work life. When I was in high school, like knowing new immigrants, refugees, newcomer students.
Even through your dad or your mother, you
Yes.
you come to know many new immigrants.
Yes, a lot of our family members, friend circle, they came as a new immigrant. Their first place to be here was at our home.
Oh,
So
great.
it was really nice, helping them out, helping other people because we were in their shoes when we came here, and I saw how much mental support you need when you are new in a new country, new language, new culture. And if you have at least one known person or even somebody from your ethnicity, it is such a big support, big
Definitely,
push,
definitely.
and it lifts up your self-esteem. So it was really nice.
So this is how what you have given us a picture of the family orientation, your family, you know, so
very.
that values you are carrying from your parents.
Family is everything.
Yeah, definitely. So, but the most interesting thing is that you said that you are working with the youth, and
yes.
our focus is also youth. We
Youth,
like to know,
absolutely.
you know, the youth's perspective on
Yes.
different issues. But I was just asking you that whether you were born here or not. It is because you said that you sometimes you cook as well, right? So is it Bangladeshi dish or is
It's most of the time Bangladeshi dish, but I can cook other cuisine
okay,
stuff.
okay.
But you know, Bangladeshi dish is just the best, hands down.
the best? Okay, okay. Now let us focus on because we have a number of questions.
Yes.
That we have a plan that will ask the same thing. Same thing means at least the same kind of questions to everyone, so that at the end of the program we can see that on different issues our youth, they are, whether they are saying the same thing or they are saying different things, or whether they are feeling in a different way. So that's why. So let's start with that. If I ask you that to explain yourself very briefly in 3 words or 4 words, what would be that?
That first of all, well, I said it at first, I'm a people person. I love helping people. I believe in standing on my own grounds. If I'm wrong, point me out. If I'm right, I will point it out too. And if somebody else is doing the same, like if that person is wrong, you have to have your own voice.
Okay.
You have to be strong in your own decision, whatever you're making for yourself. And I believe in truth.
But I find probably that is little bit of challenging sometimes. Say for example, if I am wrong in some aspect, so if you are here, so how do you address that one to me?
You don't have to be rude to people to address somebody. You can say in a polite way. That can be anything. Like our parents, we have a disagreements, but we can say in a very respectful way, in a different way, that you don't have to say, oh, you are wrong. You can say it maybe, I think there is another better opportunity. This can be right. I believe this can be right. You're not wrong, but this can be right.
That reminds me, it's long ago, one of my very famous teacher, she was well known for gender issues.
Yes.
So in front of me, I found that somebody asked her very, elementary question. I will say rubbish. No question is a bad question, but still, it was so, simple question. I was thinking that why that guy is asking that question to that big scholar. Then I was thinking probably she will be upset and she will say something, that, why you are asking me this? She was from UK and the event was happening in back home in Bangladesh. Then I found that she answered, yes, thank you very much for asking this question, but there are another way of look at it. This is how then she presented, but he was completely wrong. In fact, I thought she will react in a different way.
Yeah.
But she said, yes, maybe you are okay, but there are another aspect of it. So that's what I think you are trying to say.
Yes, exactly.
So whatever we are doing, you say that you go to work, you come at 6:30, come back at 7:30, and we all are doing different things, different stuff.
Yes.
So we do for our life, right? So we, whatever we are doing, we're doing for our life. So when we talk about life, often, many of us, I'm not saying everybody, we are not very focused. We don't know what we want to achieve in our life. So if I ask you that, what is the motto of your life? So how would you like to answer?
My motto is to be happy and to be in peace, and that I should know what will make me happy. Let's say working with youth makes me happy, working with seniors makes me happy. That's my motto, that I need to be sure about what steps I'm gonna take, and happiness in general. Like to be happy work wise, family wise, if I play a game or anything, happiness and peace, these are like the two motto. Because if I'm happy,
happiness and peace,
yes, if these two happens, I believe that it's much more, it gives you a positive perspective to look at things in a positive manner, and it helps you to reach whatever you're aiming for.
Sure, but the challenge is that we all are looking for happiness. We want to be happy, we want peace, definitely.
Yeah.
But often we see that in order to be happy,
Yeah.
whatever we are doing, that is making us unhappy eventually. But we don't realize that because somewhere we are, I think we are doing something the way it should be, we are not doing that way. So that's a challenge, definitely.
Yes.
So, but overall, definitely this is good that happiness and peace in mind or peace everywhere in your environment is definitely important. So, you know, as you said, that happiness and peace.
Yeah.
So, and you talked about, you shared your insight about your motto, you know. So, we do many things in order to get happiness.
Yeah.
So, but often we complain that I could have done this one, you know, because of this, I cannot do that. I should have done this, but because of this limitations, this challenge, this is, you know, limited resource, I could not do. So, if I, you know, ask you something like that, if resource is not an issue, money is not a factor. So, what would you like to do with your life right now? Money is not an issue.
I would love to travel all over the world. That would be the biggest thing, and you know, to help bring changes into the system. Like system-wise, I mean to say, like regarding children and youth, bring more programs and you know encourage them to be more independent, because we get to see still like a lot of children or like youth, they're very dependent on parents, and some parents also like you know they try to control them, or they think that they can't trust them fully. Maybe it's just their parents being parents, like you know very concerned and very protective about their children. But I believe that we need to have more resources for the youths and children so that they can be more involved in the society. Like let's say job wise, if I say from my personal experience, there are jobs that is like a survival job, but I believe we should bring also the jobs that will let the youth plan and create a program for the other youths and children that will give them the future, you know, the future leaders. So when you let these young children or youth to create a program for them or younger generation, it's giving them more like self-control, and they will have a better judgment. So I believe that if I have, as you said, like financial, with my money, I would love to create such kind of program for,
since you're working with youth,
because you know like it is very important. And then also how to handle like finance. We don't have any idea about finances in school. They don't teach anything about the financial like programs, how to save money, how to you know make money, like other like I think business can be done by the youth too. It's not like as because we are adults we're entitled to only do business. We need to also bring like programs like bringing fundamental values and societal growth. I feel like if I have that like you know resource, I would create programs and like have an 1 point stop like that for the youths and children so that they will learn more.
So
and
is it like that if you have unlimited resources, so you'd like to put your resource or energy into program which will empower young generation and which will help them to make informed choice? That's what you mean?
Absolutely, yes, informed
definitely this is very important. But again, you know, I'm just trying to be a devil's advocate. So often we say, even among young people, so they say, at least our perspective, you know, the way we look at them, we see that they are not doing many things, or they are doing many things, which is right or wrong, that is different thing. But they say that they have some kind of fear. They say I can do that, but I think maybe I will not be reaching there the way I am thinking, or I may not be achieving the goal I am looking at. So I would like to ask you that you are representing the young generation of Canada, and your origin is Bangladesh. We are proud of that.
Yeah.
So do you see any fear?
Yeah, well, personally, yeah, fear. In school in Canada, I'm not saying every school or every guidance counselor has been like that. Personal experience.
No.
So when I was in high school, from day one, as I told you, I wanted to study in social work. I wanted to be a social worker. So when it was
from your school days,
I knew it
okay.
Because my main inspiration actually, beside my family, after my family, my school settlement worker, she was a great support. She was so friendly. She always reach out to all the newcomer students, made all the students involved in the school system and what other programs we have, volunteer work, all this, right? So when I went to my guidance counselor in grade 11, I told her that I wanted to be a social worker. So Miss, what do you think? And obviously I was a teenager, and she's an adult. That's why she's a guidance counselor in the school, right? So she said, social work is not going to pay you so much money. Why I'm bringing this matter? Because a lot of the times they just talk about, oh, this career is not going to give you a lot of salary, a lot of high pay. They're not going to give you that. Rather than inspiring them and encouraging them on their decision. So if you are saying, to a teenager, it's not going to give you a good salary, you're putting that pressure in their mind and making a self-doubt on them that my decision is not good enough because in the future I'm not going to earn enough money. Instead, what she could have told me, go ahead, she told me, you're not going to earn enough money and you should go in a different line. But I hate science, math. Even today, I am scared of math. Science still manageable, but I hate it. So I believe this is one of the problem that from school, and also there are parental pressures, peer pressures. So parental pressure, parents start comparing their children with other children, who is better than what. They're all about the grades, good grades, 90%. No, it doesn't matter. In Canada, if you are finishing undergrad or diploma, they don't check your transcript. In very few fields, they will look at your marks. So, it is a peer first of all, school doesn't, not always supports what you think or, encourage your perspective.
So you're saying the schools are not encouraging?
Yes,
not all schools.
Don't get me wrong. It's not all schools. It depends. But
or it's better to say the teacher, particular
teachers.
teacher.
Yeah, the schools are run by the teachers, right?
Yeah.
So the schools, they need to have a little bit more uplifting attitude towards their students, which will encourage them to make a informed decision. They can say, this is it, but you cannot say, this is not good, this is not gonna make your future good, and not gonna give you enough money, not a good salary. And also parents, as I said, parents are they compare their children with other children. If my friend is getting A, if I'm not getting A, they're gonna say, why you're not doing good like them. But that
so this is one of your major concerns with regard to the youth development or the
absolutely.
I think it's a good point. So I think if our teachers or school authorities, if they are watching this show,
as well as parents,
even parents, and you said that parents should not have that kind of attitude which will only try to control their kids. Definitely, and we also share the same values. Chiliki, you were saying that you have been here for quite a long time.
Yeah.
You started your schooling and everything
Yes.
here. So I know many people, other part of the world, they think that if you somehow reach to Canada, it's a heaven, I'm sure that we have many things, which is really we all appreciate and better than compared to any other countries.
Yes.
Definitely, that is not an issue. So I just like to know that despite getting a lot of facilities, lot of things you are enjoying here,
Yeah.
do you ever think or feel that you are missing something? Something is not there. Yourself or people like you at your age, they are thinking something that we have this, but we are missing. We don't have that. We are missing something.
I think what I really miss is having a proper social life over here, because it's so busy. We are all so busy. We're like running. Every day we're running. It's like robotic life, right? Only the pandemic gave a nice pause in our
Yes.
life to gather our energy, to gather the time that we really didn't get to spend with our family members or even with our other half. So I think it's the only thing I won't say in a negative way. I think the life over here is really fast. It's sometimes I feel like I wish it's little bit slower, little bit, not too much, little bit, so that we can have more time with our families and like a little bit more relaxed, and instead of just waiting for the summer whole year, we can have a little bit social life. And I think the reason the time goes more faster is because of the winter. That made our life a little bit more like, sometimes winter time is quite boring, and that's the only thing I think I feel like that sometimes I miss it, but not always. But it all depends on how busy we are.
I think you're saying that we all are running,
Yes,
and running after something, right?
running after something.
So that gives me an idea to ask you something else. Say why we are running? We are running because the social system is such that there is no other alternative. We have to run. We have to do something for our living. So and that keeps us busy. And probably because of that we are missing a lot of other stuff.
Yes.
So since we are talking about social system, because the system is such, that's why we are running. So do you think that in our social system or policy there is a challenge or any which is not good enough, which is pulling us back? If the system is different, and if there is any issue that you would recommend or you would like to address in the system, that if they have changed policy or anything that will help you or help young generation?
I think that as you said, youth are working and they're going to schools too, right? High school or university, college. I think if they could have made the work time, I know the work hours are like 20 hours students can work, but I feel like if they were made like more flexible during the work hours, or like scheduling their work, and that would have made much more easier for the youth, because they're going to school, and also the work hours are here. Like I understand doctor, nurses, they are like frontline workers, they have to be available, but other workplaces, the work hours, if they could have addressed more like reasonable way.
Is it more hours or less hours? What do you mean?
I mean to say less hours. And if they can make like many other countries are already changing into 4 working days, that would be the best. The reason I'm saying, instead of making us go to work 5 days a week, why can't we just go to 4 days a week and just work extra few hours? That's equals to the 5th day, right? And and then in that way we all can have our time for ourselves. If somebody's studying, they can study, and for the families too. And I feel like these are the certain things I want. I wish it can change. I hope they're gonna change at least 4 days working
That
days.
reminds me, but during our childhood, we saw that our parents, they were working 6 days in a week.
Yeah.
And when we came to know that there will be 2 days off, we were saying, wow. And many people were saying, how come our economy will run? Because if 2 days are off in a week, and now you're saying that there should be 3 days off, right? That's what
Yeah, 3 days off. Like France are already, in France, they're already doing this.
Yeah.
And it brings more productivity at work. Because at the 5th day, you're already tired. Your brain is not working. You are already looking forward for Saturday. It's Friday night. Friday morning, we're thinking it's Friday night, right?
Okay.
So we're ready to go home. So yeah, I believe this working days and working hours, if they can reduce a little bit, it will be more beneficiary for socioeconomic status over here, and also like economy in general. And
Definitely,
people will give their best on those days or those hours, right? Yeah.
So other thing, those who we live in a interesting place, or in a safe place, I will say, because the world is no more safe. Many people say that the world is no more safe, but still there are few countries, there are few locations, places which is compared to others
Are safer.
safe.
Yeah.
So we live in a safe place,
Pretty
right? And
much,
you
yes.
are pretty much. So if we always think about our environment, our society, our community, we don't get the global perspective. So what do you think, that your generation, are they really global, or they are only focusing on themselves, their community, their country?
They are global.
They are global?
Yes, because we are different than our parents' generation. We don't keep looking for our community ever. We respect, we love our community, but it's not like we have to always look for our community people. I believe that we like to learn and gain knowledge about other culture, other ethnicity, and to be friends with them. And we learn from one another, like regarding anybody's culture, regarding their jobs, regarding everything. We are not small. We think in a broader mentality.
And we live in a multicultural environment,
Absolutely.
diverse environment.
Exactly. And also now the social media, our phones are always on our hands, right? And we're very active in it. Social media is the biggest platform for bringing everybody together in one place.
Yeah.
And to learn about religious celebrations, cultural celebrations, a lot of things.
Yeah, definitely.
And we are evolving. We are not stuck. We are just growing,
So
as per my thought.
Okay, that's good. That makes sense. When you are saying that your generation, they are thinking globally,
Yeah.
their concern is also definitely global in that case. So if it is the case, that how do you see this world where we see a lot of wars? Currently, we know that Ukraine war. Previously it was Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, even Yemen, different part of the world still. So what is your perspective, or how do you see this? Why even in 2022 we see this war, So who is to be blamed for that, or how we should address that?
Of course, the political leaders. And don't get me wrong, I think though most of the time when we see a war, these political leaders are not youth. They're not young. Young generation's mentality is very different. They're not. I'm not saying
They're not into war?
They're not into wars and stuff. But our older generation, I'm not saying on my parents, people who are like maybe 2 generations older than us, they have this still their 50s mentality or 70s mentality of everything has to be done through putting a war between 2 countries and just take out the peace, being inhuman. They don't care. Their political mentality comes right in front of their plate. They don't care about how much blood are shedding, how many children,
And
families
they are not
killed.
directly suffering
Yeah,
as well.
because they're not their families. They are so power hungry people that they only care about the power. Their like geographic area, that how much they can take over one another's geographic area, and that is not like youth mentality. They are not youth.
So does that mean that you want that in the decision making process there should be more youth representatives?
Of
That
course,
will help.
I'm not saying a president has to be a youth. Of course not. They need to have a maturity, certain level of independence, knowledge, experience. But I believe they should involve youth in certain policies and decision making, like certain level. I'm not saying like higher level. Or we want more young leaders who has different mindset, who are different than our fathers or grandfathers.
So since as you are saying that we can put blame on our political leaders.
Yeah.
So do you have any specific recommendations for our political leaders that?
Recommendation is please involve the young generations. Please bring more young MPs, MPPs in these sectors, so they can bring more changes, more like broad-minded, more developed, more new ideas, instead of dealing with those old histories, old ideas that they're maybe their father was a prime minister and now they're following their footsteps. But it is high time that we bring some more young ideas, because young people are thinking in a different direction, so it will bring a lot of changes in our
You are saying that
political.
Yeah, I understand. I hear what you are saying. That you are saying that we should bring more young people.
Yes.
But do you really think that the young generation, at least in Canada, they are politically that much engaged, so that they are in the process and they can address issues correctly?
I'm not going to say they are not, but they will be more engaged if you really involve them. If you don't involve them, if you don't have the resources, like political science, if you don't have any courses regarding politics, how do you expect somebody to just drop like a bomb and they're gonna know everything? It's not possible. If you ask me if I'm into too much politics, no. Do we even have had any courses in our high school regarding politics? No. It's history. Politics and history, yes, history involves politics, but politics, the system, how system runs, we don't know, right? So if we have more knowledge about what politics looks like, how to be an MP, how to be a leader in your in your neighborhood, then you will see more youth faces. We don't have that resources. You go and you do your laws education, you do political science in university, then you go and apply for being an MP or MPP, but we don't know the prerequisites, right?
And even as you said that even in school, many teachers or the mentors, they give you some idea that which profession or which work will give you more money.
Yeah.
So and at the beginning you said that your life motto is peace and happiness.
Yeah.
So I believe you will agree that money cannot always buy
happiness.
right?
Absolutely not.
So for that we need to be engaged in the community political system. That is right.
Yeah.
So that's a good perspective from and do you think that youths like or young adults like you everywhere across the world, they are speaking the same language, or they feel like the same, or?
It depends on country to country, because it's different. Everywhere it's different. Here we think, majority we will say that they think in the same way, but there are aspects that, like educational factor, not every country has the best education, best resources for the students. How do you think they are gonna think in that way, right? like developed countries, or at least developing countries, but let's say in their capitals they have a good school system, good resources for their students. I can say at least 80% we are on the same.
Okay, so
board.
it doesn't matter where you live.
No,
which
it doesn't
country you
matter.
live. It was nice chatting with you, but I have a few more concerns, a few more issues that I'd like to ask you or like to have a chat with you. So if you are given an opportunity, or if let's say opportunity that you will, if I ask you that money is not issue again, resource is not an issue, so you have to give a gift to everyone in this world, what would you give them, or what gift would you choose? Money is not an issue, resource is not an issue, everybody you want to give, everybody, but the same thing, same gift. What that gift would be?
Happiness.
No, but how, happiness is so difficult, you cannot measure and you cannot give that. Okay, I'm giving you that
True.
happiness.
Oh, you
So-
can buy with the money that one, but
So-
yeah, I think. But do I have to buy that with the money?
It's your, I don't know, maybe different people may feel differently. So if you just have something in your mind that, okay, maybe if I give them this one, you are happy, they are happy, it's up to you. I'm just trying to read your mind.
I think I'll just give them the basic money that they can run their family, have food, and have a shelter to stay. Not like luxury. I'm not talking about luxury.
Okay.
If you can eat 3 times a day and you have a place to sleep at night,
Yeah.
a safe place that calls your home, I would give that.
That's a big chunk of happiness,
That's the
right?
big chunk of happiness. Like, we have so much homelessness everywhere. Even in Toronto after the pandemic, it's crazy. So much break-ins, so much robbery, so much suicidal cases, so much murder. Why do you think it's happening? Because they don't have food for their family, they don't have a shelter for their family. So if you have a home, doesn't matter one room or whatever rooms it has, you just need a safe place to keep your family safe, and food and water for your children and your family to have 3 times a day. That's it.
Thank you very much, Jalil. Thank you very much on behalf of
welcome.
PACE, Progressive Action for Community Empowerment, and on behalf of TV Metro Mail. It was nice chatting with you.
It's nice chatting with you. Thank you for having me.
And thank you very much those who are helping us. Arif is here. Arif, can we see your face as well?
It's okay. I mean, you can hear my voice. Thank you so much for having me here.